Hey, what's up? It's Christopher, aka the Bronze Age Nerd, and today we need to talk a little bit more about the Black Widow movie. I feel like in a lot of ways this movie is just staying in the news cycle for the wrong reasons. First off, I want to give a shout out to High Ground Comics over on Instagram. He sent me a link to this story from the Wall Street Journal that I'll be talking about today. Definitely go check out his IG. And thanks again for sending over the story. So Black Widow star Scarlett Johansson says that the simultaneous digital and theatrical release of the movie was a breach of contract. Now, obviously Disney and Marvel delayed this movie several times because of the pandemic, and they wanted to try to get a theatrical release, and they went for about as early a window as most theaters were going to be open as possible. But of course, they still needed to release the movie digitally because a lot of people either aren't able or aren't willing to go to a movie theater. Certainly, they also felt pressured to get the movie out, as I'm sure it contained details that were relevant to the story. It already feels like a show that needed to come out months ago before Falcon and the Winter Soldier, like it was originally planned to. But the point is they released it at this point digitally as well as theatrically, which, because Scarlett Johansson's contract was tied to theatrical box office, affected the amount of money she made on the movie. Now, this is completely a fair case for Scarlett Johansson. I'm not a lawyer, of course, but just from the surface, it sounds like she deserves to be paid for what happened here. Now, you have like Time Warner, for example, HBO, kind of that whole Warner family, that renegotiated contracts because they decided to do digital releases to pay their actors to the tune of about $200 million they had to pay out. Now, of course, they would have paid out a lot of that money anyway from box office releases for the contracts for those actors that had contracts tied to box office profits. Now, whether or not you think actors are paid too much money for what they do, they are agreed upon a salary for what they do. And obviously actors are a big part of why a lot of people go see movies. So it makes perfect sense to me that everybody should be paid what they're promised. And Hollywood has a long history of not living up to those promises. There's a lot of ways in which studios have kind of manipulated the numbers to basically screw actors out of the money they're due. And I think this just kind of follows in suit with that long history of unfortunate experiences that actors have had in Hollywood. And of course, major Hollywood studios are prioritizing their digital releases right now, which makes perfect sense, but they have to also appropriately accommodate and compensate their actors for their roles in their films. And obviously this movie would not have been the same without Scarlett Johansson at the head of it. It's just a movie about Black Widow played by Scarlett Johansson. And you can kind of see maybe this is part of the reason why this is going to be her last Marvel movie, at least for the time being. So I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts are on this topic. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. I want to remind you, as always, hey, read comics every day.